Hi, fourth graders. Today we're talking about lesson 94, two-step word problems. The new concept begins on page 595, sorry. And basically today we're going to be given some information. First, we need to use the information to solve one part of the problem, and then using that piece of information we just found, we have to use it to solve the second part of the problem. So, example 1 on page 596. Jim is 5 years older than Allie. Allie is 2 years younger than Blanca, and Blanca is 9 years old. How old is Jim? Well, we know that Blanca is 9 years old. We also know that Allie is 2 years younger than Blanca. So if Allie is 2 years younger than Blanca, then we know that Allie is 7 because Blanca is 9. Okay, we also know that Jim is 5 years older than Allie. Well, now we just figured out how old Allie is, so we know that Jim is 5 years older than her. 5 plus 7 is 12. So Jim is 12 years old. Example 2. Javon paid for 5 pounds of apples with a $10 bill. His change was $6. What is the cost for each pound of apples? So first we have to figure out what did the apples cost altogether for all 5 pounds. He paid with a $10 bill, but he got $6 back. So how much did it actually cost? We figure that out by subtracting. 10 minus 6 is $4. So all 5 pounds of apples cost him $4. Okay, so we use that information to figure out how much each pound is then. So I have $4 that paid for 5 pounds, so 5 groups. Okay, so I'm taking that $4 and dividing it by 5. Well, I can't take 5 divided by 4, so I have to treat this all together. I'm just going to bring my decimal and my dollar sign up so I don't forget later on. Okay, so now I'm really thinking, well, this is 40. 40 divided by 5 is 8. Okay, and 8 times 5 is 40. And subtract, so I can work it all out, is 0. Bring down the 0. Okay, now I can take 0 divided by 5, which I know is 0. Anything divided by 0 is 0. Okay, so each pound cost 80 cents. Okay, all 5 together was $44. Each pound cost 80 cents. Example 3. One of the foods that Marabella feeds her pet rabbit is 2 ounces of lettuce each day. How many days does her rabbit eat a pound of lettuce? And then how many pounds of lettuce does the rabbit eat in 4 months? So we know that 16 ounces equals a pound, and that each day the rabbit eats 2 ounces. So if I have 16 ounces total, and each day 2 ounces are eaten, divide 16 by 2, and I have 8 days. So it takes 8 days for the rabbit to eat a pound of lettuce. Okay, well now I need to know how many pounds the rabbit eats in 4 months. So how many days is 4 months? Well, if each month is about 30, and I have 4 of those, so 4 times 30 is 120. Okay, so I have 120 days, and the rabbit takes 8 days to eat a pound. So I want to figure out how many pounds the rabbit eats in 4 months. So 120 divided by 8. Well, 8 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 8. No. Sorry. Lose my mind. Okay, let's try this again. 12 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract, and I have 4. Okay, bring down your 0. 4D divided by 8 is 5. 5 times 8 is 40. And then subtract it out. And I have nothing left behind. So how many pounds of lettuce does the rabbit eat in 4 months? It eats 15 pounds in 120 days. Okay. Let's go on to example 4. Point B represents which number on this number line? Okay, well here I have point A at 100, point C at 200, and I have figured out what b is in between these two. So how many numbers are between 100 and 200? Well, I can subtract to figure that out, and I am left with 100. So 100 numbers are between these 2 points. And then how many sections are these 100 numbers split into? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 100 numbers between A and C, and they're divided into 4 parts. So 100 divided by 4 is 25. So since I am dividing by 25, each of these sections is going to be counting by 25. So 100, 125, 150, 175, 200. So point B is 175. Let's try example 5. If y equals 2 times x plus 1, then what is y when x equals 3? So wherever you see that x, then it's really going to be 3. Okay, so instead of x, I have 3. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. What if I say that x is 5? Okay, so where you see this x, you're going to put 5 instead. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Okay, let's try some lesson practice. We're on page 597. Kim paid for 4 pounds of peaches with a $5 bill. She got $3 back. What is the cost of each pound of peaches? Okay, so she paid with $5 bill. She got $3 back. So what's the cost of the peaches altogether? 5 minus 3 would be $2. So she paid $2 total for 4 pounds of peaches. So now we need to figure out what is the cost for each pound. So she spent $2 for a total of 4 pounds, and we need to figure out each pound. So 4 divided by 20 is 5. And I'm going to bring up my decimal point and my dollar sign so I don't forget to add them at the end. Okay, 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract, and I'm left with 0. And all I have to bring down is the zeros, and I know that anything divided by 0 is 0. So 4 divided by 0 is 0. So each pound cost 50 cents. $2 total, 50 cents a pound. Okay, go ahead and try B. The perimeter of the square is 12 inches. What is the area of the square? Okay, so here I have a square. And I know that squares have all the lengths the same. And I know that the perimeter all the way around is 12 inches. So, since I know I have 12 inches between a total of 4 sides, I'm taking 12 divided by 4. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that tells me that each side is 3 inches. Knowing the length of one side, I can figure out the area of the square. Remember that area is length times width. And since I have a square, the length is 3 and the width is also 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then my label is inches. And since I'm talking area, it's inches squared. Okay, go ahead and try C. Orlando is 10 years younger than Gian. Gian is 2 years older than Shaniqua. If Orlando is 13 years old, how old is Shaniqua? Okay, well, I know that Orlando is 13 years. I also know that Orlando is 10 years younger than Gian, which means that Gian is 10 years older than Orlando. So 10 years older than Orlando would be 23. Okay, now I need to figure out, knowing how old Gian is, how old is Shaniqua? Well, Gian is 2 years older than Shaniqua. So 23 is 2 years older than what? 21. So Shaniqua is 21 years old. go ahead and on to D. Point N represents what number on this number line? Okay, well, first of all, I have to figure out how many numbers am I counting. So between 400 and 500 is how many numbers? 500 minus 400 is 100. So I have 100 numbers here total. That's how many numbers are between 400 and 500. Now I got to think, how many sections have I divided this 100 numbers into? So I count the sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm taking that 100 and splitting it into 5 sections. Dividing it into 5 sections. Okay, so now I can divide. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract. And then bring down. 0 divided by 5 is 0. So I know that each of these sections is counting by 20s. So this is 400, 420, 440, 460, 480, 500. So N is what? 420, 440, 460. Okay, go ahead and try E. If y equals 3x plus 2, then what is y when x equals 4? Okay, so where this x is, I'm going to say it's 4 instead. So 3 times, when they're side by side like that, 4 plus 2 equals y. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 2 equals 14. So y is 14. All right, last one. Mr. Simmons is 5 feet 10 inches tall. How many inches is 5 feet 10 inches? Okay, well, how many inches is a foot? Okay, well, I know that 12 inches is 1 foot. So how many inches would 5 feet be? So I can think 12 times 5, because 12 inches in each foot, times 5 feet. Okay, and 12 times 5, if I want to do it the long way, 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Okay, so 5 feet is 60 inches. But I have 10 more inches there, so I have to take that 60 and add 10 more inches onto it to get his total inches, which is 70 inches. So Mr. Simmons, if he's 5 foot 10, is 70 inches tall. Okay, so take your time with the reteaching. Really think about what the questions are asking you. Write down what you know and use step by step to solve and figure out your answer. Take your time. That's going to be the key. So go ahead and do reteaching for lesson 94. And good luck.